What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know, long time no see. I posted a little teaser video, 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't checked it out, link up here to check it out, link in the description box for you to check it out. And yeah, so this year is mainly for me to regain the passion in walking in my purpose. I kind of talked about some things that I've been through these past couple of years that have really made me more anxious, more depressed than excited about what God has for me. And that has been a struggle. I'm not even gonna lie, to this day, it's still a struggle. I still find myself having to pull myself together like we are on today to bring you this content because it's hard. A lot of great things have happened, but like my faith and emotional battle has been one for the books. So yeah, it's 2021. Interesting things have happened as far as the world is concerned. I'm baffled, behooved, and don't know what to look for when it comes to the new year. But, I'm grateful to be here another year. So I'm just going to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to talk about my 2021 goals. I'm going to talk about, some personal things that I dealt with, and just also what I hope to, do on this channel. I feel like I kind of left you guys hanging, and I had to, sadly, but I'm trying to get back and be more consistent. So yeah, the very first thing I want to touch on is ghosting. This is something that I was the very last in my series of, what I was explaining as far as like my battles is concerned, what I was going through. And I went through a period where I felt like I was just ghost mode on everything, on everybody. I felt like I couldn't afford to be as tangible to people or accessible to people as I wanted to, simply because I had so much on my plate and I just had so much, I feel like, emotional damage. I felt like I was kind of like in an identity crisis as far as like knowing who I am, what I like, the things that I expect, what I look forward to in relationships and friendships, and how do you have healthy relationships? How do you have healthy friendships? Like, how do you pick and choose, who needs to be in your life and who's not in your life, dealing with, falling outs and mistakes and stuff like that. So it really just took a toll on me. And so I just had to really take some time to gather myself and process all that. So in the event of all that, I really did ghost. And it wasn't intentional to like hurt anybody or anything like that. Like, I just really needed that space and that time to pull myself together. Because it can be kind of tricky when you're trying to do that in the process and then be accessible to other people. And then you end up like not getting the healing that you need. And that was how I got so depleted at the end of 2018. I was just giving and giving and giving and giving, and stuff would happen and things would fall apart, and then I didn't have time to regroup and pull myself together. And then of course, over time, my cup got empty. My faith in God decreased, so I was trying to pour out of an empty cup, and it was causing burnout. It's almost like putting a frying pan with a little bit of water on the stove, cranking that thing up, watching it boil until all the water is gone. Then what happens? The pan catches on fire. There's nothing in there for it to boil. So, and that's truly how I felt between school and trying to maintain different aspects of my life and trying to have balance. And I really needed that time. And so what really contributed to my ghosting was staying off of social media. That was a big thing for me. I just felt like people didn't necessarily need access to my life to see what I was feeling, what I was thinking. And then I also didn't want to put out all my feelings on social media and, trying to like get pity and people to understand and care. Like, I wanted to find a way to get healed and not constantly dwell in my problems, dwell in my situations, dwell on what was happening. And I didn't want to project that onto social media. I didn't want to project that onto other people. I also didn't want to get on social media and act like I was happy and everything was all peachy keen because it wasn't. And even now, I'm blessed. I'm feeling much better. My health is back up, trying to get back to being more creative. Things are still not perfect, but I'm in a place now where I'm able to share and be accessible and put out content and be creative, and I wasn't before, so yeah, I spent a lot of time off of social media. I would get on, get off periodically. I had to unfollow some people, I had to block some people, I had to do what was best for me, because at the end of the day, I say this and, again, don't take this the wrong way. Some people don't care about you like you care about yourself. Like, there's only so much caring someone can do for you until you care enough for yourself, because it's almost like if you compare it to a situation when you're trying to help somebody, but they're so fixated on not being helped that's all you can do. That's as much as you can care as much as you can, as much as you can. So I felt like it was necessary for me to just care for myself, take care of myself, and, of course, let God do the rest, but, really do a lot of self-introspection. And that's something that I'm proud of myself for doing, because many people can't do that. Many people can't sit still, get off social media, take a deep breath for months or years at a time, figure out what's the problem, relearn themselves, relearn what they like, what they don't like, what they should do next time. People don't take the time to do that. And it's kind of sad, because it's just like, this is your life. You need to be okay. And you need to be able to function, in a way that is healthy and in excellence, and function in the way that God created you to be. And then, how can you be a blessing? Not saying you have to be perfect. This has nothing to do with perfection, but you can't be your best self and help people, if you constantly up and down, jacked up, all over the place. So I spent a lot of time off of social media and did some deep, deep introspection, and I had to revisit some things that happened that I didn't necessarily like to make sure that those same things don't get repeated in the future. So I had to reconcile some things with myself. I had to learn how to forgive myself. I had to go and forgive other people and let other people choose and make the opportunity to forgive me, and just let some things be placed and positioned in different arenas of my life, and create some boundaries. And at the end of the day, it was no bad blood. I simply had to be an adult and put some parameters in line for my life, and also check myself so I don't end up in situations that are unhealthy for me. And so, I was basically, like I said, ghost mode. Like, I really don't spend a lot of time on social media as it is right now. I get up there, I look, I might post on my story a little bit, I might post a picture, but I'm just not that interested in constantly being on social media right now. I don't know if that'll change down the line. I'm not trying to jinx myself or say I'm too good to be on social media, but I find a lot of peace in focusing on myself, being creative, finding other ways to utilize my time than just scrolling on social media. Like, social media is great, but sometimes it could be too much for me. For me, I'm talking about me. Sometimes it could be too much for me. So I fully deactivated my Facebook page as of October 2019, and I have not looked back since. I'm just at peace with not being on Facebook. Like I said, I get on Instagram occasionally. I get on Snapchat. My Snapchat is very personal. Very few people that I follow on Snapchat. So it's more like, family and close friends. And and that's really it. I mean, I get on Twitter, but again, that's also close-knit people I know, and like I went through and I cleaned out followers and stuff like that. So, I just needed to do that for me, and it's okay to put yourself first. And, the only downside to it was I had ghosted myself from a lot of my friends, or I had isolated myself rather. And then I would just learn that sometimes, or I had to explain to them that I couldn't pour out as much as I was pouring out, and they understood. And so what I would do is I would just check in. You good? You good? Brief talk, because I also didn't want to become a person or a friend that constantly comes to dump about my problems. Now, should friends be there to listen and for you to vent? Absolutely. I think that's healthy and necessary for all friendships, but I didn't want it to be a continual thing. So, and then also that's still not allowing me to process my feelings, but instead dump them and, compartmentalize them instead of processing them. I would just do check-ins, and then every now and then when I had the opportunity, we would get lunch or whatever. The pandemic's been kind of crazy, so I haven't seen much of my friends other than FaceTime. Or through text, through call, and mainly because I still live at home with my parents, and out of respect for them and the safety of my family, I choose not to go out every which way, because I know I live here and I live here with 5 other people, and, we're just trying to be safe. So that's just me. Now, if I was living by myself, things might be a little different. I would still be more careful, but, I wouldn't be so concerned about, visiting my friends and my friends coming here, vice versa. So yeah. I would do check-ins, and that has been working out for me. And like I said, for the friends that were really there and supportive, they understood, and they were cool with it, and they were supportive. So yeah, so I spent a lot of 2019 and 2020 ghosting, and like pulling myself together. I was going through a lot of different things: depression, anxiety, anemia, iron deficiency, school, work, and it was just a lot. And I'm a proud graduate, and I'm happy to have graduated as of December 4th, 2020. We are now 3/4 degrees in the hole. No big deal, whatever. She a little smart, whatever. But I'm happy to be done with school. Like, that was a blessing. And like I said, it's only up from here. And so I'm just, learning how to adjust. And, I was getting kind of frustrated with, the way this year was starting to look, and just the job opportunities, and just a lot of different things that, continues to try to discourage me. And then knowing that I have graduated, and have graduated from college 3 times now, that I assumed and really hoped that things would be easier, but it has not been. And so my mom was like, well, who told you that? She kind of checked me. And then I had talked to another colleague, and she was like, well, yeah, every ending has a new beginning. So that means just because, one thing ended doesn't mean, it's skyrocketing to the next thing. And so I needed that assurance, to kind of get through this time, because I really have to push to be creative and do things. And one thing I'm grateful for is my pastor and bishop. She truly hears from God, and her emphasis, or teaching emphasis, is really on allowing us to really know and grow and understand the character of God and the ability of God. And the scripture that we've been going off of is Daniel, I believe. It's in my notes somewhere. Oh God, I hate that I don't know it off the top. It's in my notes, because I'll be taking notes on Sunday. Being that we're in virtual church, I have to take notes now, because, child, it's a struggle. But it says, the people who know their God will do great exploits, and they will be strengthened through God. So if I know my God inside and out, I know his character, I know what he's able to handle. If I know that he tells the truth, if I know that he's a God of integrity, I know he's a provider. If I know that, and I have a conviction and I have a belief, that is solely dedicated on that, then anything I face, I know I can do great things through Christ. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like getting to know God. The more you know him, the more you know yourself, the more you know what you're capable of doing, the more you know what you're able to do through Christ. And so I want to be an example of that, doing great exploits through Christ. And that requires us to grow closer to him, to know his character fully. And, even being saved with all of 17 years, you are never too old to learn that or relearn that. And it was just so profound, and just such a great message, and such a great way to develop and grow in God, especially during this time. Because one thing that they've been saying, that, or Pastor Trev and my pastor, Bishop Rosie S. O'Neill, is that the promises of God are pandemic proof. The pandemic cannot stop any promise that God has for us. So that's on period. I didn't get up here to preach, but I just had to think about that, because, you think about all the possibilities being stripped away from you because of this pandemic, and the things that you thought you were going to easily be able to do seems like it's going to be harder to do, but our God is able. So as far as my 2021 plans, I just plan to go all out, be creative, go and do the work, find projects, and just, focus on my creativity, focus on developing my craft. There's a lot of great things that I have planned that I would like to do. I'm not going to sit here and go through every single thing, but in due time, I'm praying that things will go ahead and take off. And really, that's my purpose. I have 3 main goals, and that's to, again, it's the same, but you know, really trying to focus back on God and really knowing his character, because that's one thing I can say, like I know God's character through testimony, through things that I've been through, but when you read it from the word of God, it's different. It hit different, you know, it solidifies it. And I'm not a Bible scholar, and I should be studying my Bible a lot more. So just doing that, that's one. And then two, you know, preparing myself to be full-fledged independent. So I have a lot of different things that I need to get done as far as that is concerned, to be a full-blown adult independent, you know, be able to take care of myself. And then the third goal is to just maintain my health, be on top of my health, my checkups, appointments, you know, dentist, vision, lady parts, overall health, to make sure that I'm on my A game, because I don't have time to fall apart, because I have work to do. God has things for me to do. So yeah, last but not least, the last thing that I want to cover before my battery dies, because my camera is not loyal to me. I big chopped. I have big chopped twice. Well, technically this is my third big chop. So I cut my hair in August, and I'll have comparison picture show. I cut my hair in August. It was like down here, a little bit longer. And so I decided to chop it like to a bob, short bob. I simply did it because I was so consumed with doing many other things, work, school. Again, I already talked about how extremely busy I was. And so I was like, I ain't got time to do my hair. I don't, truly, I don't. And then when the pandemic hit, I ain't had no reason to do my hair, and it was a lot of hair. So I was like, yeah, we're just gonna cut it. So it has been extremely convenient for me. And basically it was out of convenience. And then also I wasn't taking that good of care of my hair, honestly, because like I said, I was so busy working that I didn't do my hair. I might have washed it and then put gel in it, did a wash and go, and just let that do what it do, and then I'll put it up in a puff. And then another reason why I decided to big chop my hair is because, like, again, I wanted to kind of like restart my hair growth in a sense. I don't know if it was the stress or the anemia or the depression. It could have been a mix of all three, but my edges started to leave the building. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then so I just felt like having a lot of hair was putting more strain on my roots or my edges, being that they were more sensitive and more likely to break. And then also a lot of the protective styles that I did back to back from 2018 to really like 2019, mid 2020, I noticed that like it was thinning out more and more and more. And so for that reason, I was like, yeah, I need to be able to concentrate on my edges and for them to grow back. And so they have grown back a lot quicker. And that's also due to me seeing a stylist regularly and letting them care for my hair. I go to REK Hair Salon, and Royette does an amazing job. And as well as Tori, she cut my hair the first time and she blew it out a second time. And then I had Royette cut layers into my hair. So that's what I meant by kind of like two big chops. So I cut my hair in August and I got it layered in December. So yeah, so I got it chopped again recently. In the meanwhile, I'm enjoying it right now. And like I said, I'm just gonna let it grow, you know, do some different things with it, maybe get some color, whatever. So yeah, again, I just wanted to keep this extremely brief. I wanted to welcome you guys into 2021, welcome you to my channel. If you are new, hello, how are you? And I plan to be as consistent as I can during this time, because all I have at the end of the day is to create. That was my purpose. My purpose is to create, is to find opportunities to create. It's what I love to do, it's what I'm passionate about. And so I'm just here to take you guys along on the journey. There will be a mixture of content that I will be putting on my channel, but I know you guys really still like the beauty content. So I'm gonna push that out as much as I can, but I'm really looking to do some new things on my channel, some experimental things on my channel, kind of like what you saw with the 2021 trailer. So there'll be a variety of things on my channel, but I know you guys really like the beauty and hair content, so I'll continue to do that, guys, for you. And I just thank you guys for the support and how my channel has continued to grow in my absence. And go ahead and tell a friend to tell a friend. Come back, subscribe, watch, like, comment, all that good stuff. I missed you guys, and I'm gonna try to be as present as possible. I know I say this every year, but the tables have kind of turned. I have a little more time on my hand. I am not a college student anymore. I am not working a full-time job currently. So yeah, my goal is to be there and to push out as much content as I can. So welcome to 2021. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.